Welcome to the Refusion Podcast, where we transform patient care. Okay, so let's dive into something that I think a lot of practices maybe don't prioritize as much as they could.
Yeah.
And that is patient referrals.
Absolutely.
We're going to be looking at some material from JAMA and some other sources too, and kind of digging into how powerful these can be. And, you know, we all know word of mouth is so important. But in healthcare specifically, there's some interesting data.
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, just like at the highest level,
Sure,
why referrals are so important?
Well, you know, even in today's digital age with online reviews and all that, you know.
Right, everybody's checking them.
Yeah, everybody's checking those ratings and looking at, you know, what people are saying online.
Yeah.
But there's still something to be said about that trust factor
Right.
that comes from somebody that you know personally.
100%.
Recommending a healthcare provider.
Yeah, JAMA actually had a study where over a third of patients said that word-of-mouth referrals were very important
Wow.
when they were choosing a doctor.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it really does. And it kind of makes you think like, wow, even with all the information.
All the information at your fingertips.
At your fingertips, exactly.
Yeah.
People still really value that personal connection.
That personal recommendation, it's huge.
So I think we have a stat here too, that patients, something like 42% rely on these recommendations from friends and family.
Yeah, it's almost half of the patients out there
That's huge.
are relying on recommendations from people they know.
So that's got to be like a gold mine for practices if they'll follow.
Absolutely. It's a huge untapped potential for a lot of practices.
Tap into it, right?
If you can get a system in place where you're encouraging these referrals and really, you know, cultivating that environment where patients feel comfortable recommending you, it can really make a big difference.
Okay, so how can a practice tap into this?
Yeah.
Like, where do you even begin?
Well, I think the first step is really understanding that patient satisfaction is at the heart of it all.
Okay.
You know, if patients aren't happy, they're not going to be going out and recommending you to their friends and family.
Right. It's kind of a no-brainer, but...
Yeah, it seems obvious, but sometimes it's easy to overlook the basics.
Yeah.
You know, you get so caught up in the day-to-day running of the practice that you forget about those fundamental things.
Okay, so you're saying, like, before we even worry about a referral program,
right,
we have to make sure people actually like us.
Exactly. You got to have a good foundation.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make sure patients are happy with the care that they're receiving.
Okay.
They're having a positive experience overall.
And that's something that, like, we help with a lot at Reprogen.
Absolutely. Right. Our tools are designed to help you, you know, gather that patient feedback, understand what's working well, what could be improved, and ultimately make sure that your patients are having a positive experience.
Because if they're not having a positive experience, they're not going to tell their friends.
Exactly.
Pretty simple.
It's word of mouth marketing 101.
Okay, so let's say, you know, we've got our practice. We know patients are happy.
Yeah.
Now what?
Okay, so now you want to start thinking about how do you actually build a system to encourage these referrals and make it easy for patients to recommend you.
So what would be some of the steps there?
Well, one of the key things is staff training.
Okay.
You know, your staff is on the front lines.
Yeah.
They're interacting with patients every day.
Right.
And so they need to be trained on how to bring up referrals naturally.
Right.
You know, it's not about being pushy.
You don't want to be like, hey, by the way, before you leave.
Right.
Tell all your friends.
Nobody wants to feel like they're being sold to.
Right.
But it's about having those conversations organically, you know, maybe at the end of an appointment when a patient's expressing how happy they are.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's a perfect opportunity to say, you know, hey, we're so glad you're happy with our services. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you know anybody else who might be looking for a, you know, whatever type of provider you are, we'd love for you to recommend us.
So it's all about kind of like seizing those opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it feels natural.
Yeah.
Not forced.
Make it part of the conversation.
Okay. And I think we have some other ideas here too, right? Like,
yeah, we do.
Little things that practices can do.
So in addition to that staff training, it's also important to set clear goals.
Okay. Goals. Like what kind of goals?
So, you know, you could aim for a certain number of new patients each month through referrals.
Okay.
You could track the percentage of your new patients that are coming from referrals.
Right.
Having those measurable targets can help keep everyone focused and motivated.
I like that. I'm a big believer in setting goals too.
Absolutely.
And what about some of those other things like reminders and stuff?
Yeah, so you can also think about using in-office signage, you know, a simple poster in the waiting area.
Sure.
Can remind patients about your referral program.
Yeah, just something visual to keep it top of mind.
And then you can also use digital communication.
Oh, right.
Like, personalized email
blasts and stuff.
Text message reminders, even phone call scripts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you're having those conversations anyway, you can just work it into the script.
So all these little touch points.
Exactly.
To kind of keep it on people's radar.
Yeah, just a gentle reminder.
Okay, what about incentives?
Incentives.
Everybody loves a little incentive.
So incentives can be a great way to really encourage those referrals.
Okay.
You could offer patients a small gift card, a discount on their next appointment.
Like a thank you for sending people our way.
Yeah, a little token of appreciation.
Yeah.
And you can even get creative with it, Maybe you make a donation to a charity in the patient's name.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, something that aligns with your practice's values.
It's a feel good for everybody.
Exactly.
But I guess there are rules around that, right?
Yes, absolutely. You have to be very careful with incentive programs.
Okay.
Because the regulations can vary from state to state.
Oh, right, of course.
So before you implement any kind of reward system, do your research, make sure you're in compliance with all the local laws and ethical guidelines.
We don't want anybody getting in trouble.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot here, like staff training.
Yeah.
Setting goals.
Right.
Reminders, incentives. Is there anything else that practices should be thinking about?
Yeah, there are a few more strategies that can really help boost those referrals.
Okay, let's hear them.
So one is engaging with other practices.
Oh, okay, like networking.
Exactly. Building relationships with other healthcare provider can be a great source of referrals.
Right, I can see that.
Yeah, you can refer patients to specialists when needed, and they can refer patients to you.
It's like a two-way street.
Exactly. It's all about building that network of trusted providers.
Okay, I like that.
And then another one is to think about automation.
Oh, automation, of course.
Technology can really streamline the referral process.
Yeah.
There are systems out there that can automatically send personalized referral requests to patients.
Also, it takes the work off my plate.
Exactly. It saves you time and effort.
Awesome.
And then finally, don't forget about those good old-fashioned promotional materials.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Flyers, brochures, anything that patients can take with them to remind them about your referral program.
A little leave behind.
Yeah, exactly. A little something to jog their memory.
So we've got kind of like the foundation of the program.
Yeah, we've laid the groundwork.
And then all these different tactics to kind of really make it happen.
It's a multi-pronged approach.
Okay, so now I want to talk about some more specific strategies.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's get into it.
Sometimes the most effective strategy is just being straightforward.
Okay.
Like just asking.
Like straight up ask.
Ask for the referral.
Yeah.
A lot of practices, I think, hesitate to do that.
I could see that.
They don't want to seem pushy.
Right.
But if you've got a patient who's clearly happy, they're telling you how great their experience was. That's the perfect time.
Yeah. Just to say, hey.
Yeah. Do you know anyone else who might benefit from our services?
Because they're already thinking about it.
Exactly. They're in that positive mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one really simple but effective strategy.
But of course it goes beyond just asking.
Oh, absolutely. You have to make sure you're actually delivering a great experience.
Right. If you're asking for referrals but you're not giving good service.
Right, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
You got to have that foundation of exceptional care.
Okay, so talk about that a little bit.
What does that look like?
Yeah, what does that look like?
Well, it's everything. It's the entire patient journey.
Oh, wow.
From the moment they first contact your office to the follow-up after their appointment.
So, like, even the website?
Yeah. How easy is it to navigate your website?
Okay.
Can they easily find the information they need?
Okay.
Can they book an appointment online?
Right.
When they call the office, are they greeted by a friendly voice?
Yeah, are they put on hold for an hour?
Right, exactly. Is the waiting room clean and comfortable?
Yeah. All those little things.
It all adds up.
And we can help with a lot of those touch points, right?
Absolutely.
Like we have tools that can...
Ripogen can help you automate a lot of that.
Okay.
Appointment reminders, follow-up surveys.
Right.
Even things like online scheduling.
So it makes that whole process smoother.
Exactly. Right. It takes the burden off your staff
so
they can focus on providing that personal touch.
Okay, so we've got that piece.
Yeah.
What else?
So another really important strategy is physician networking.
Okay, physician networking.
Yeah. So this is especially important for specialists who rely on referrals from primary care physicians.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, to build those relationships. Right. So, go to conferences, join local medical associations, even connect with other physicians on LinkedIn.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just get your name out there.
Just be present in the community.
Exactly. Okay. So it's all about building those relationships.
And I imagine that can lead to a lot of referrals.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what about data?
Data.
Yeah, everyone's talking about data these days.
Right. Data is king.
So how can practices use data to improve their referral program?
Well, the first step is to actually track your referrals.
Okay.
Where are they coming from?
Like the source.
Yeah. Are they coming from online reviews, social media?
Physician referrals.
Exactly. And then once you have that data,
you can analyze it.
You can start to analyze it and see what's working.
Right. And what's not.
And then you can adjust your strategy accordingly.
So it's not just about doing all these things.
Right.
It's about seeing if they're actually working.
Exactly.
And making changes.
Measure and refine.
Okay. And I think we've talked about this before, but patient feedback is so important too.
Oh, absolutely. Those patient satisfaction surveys?
Yeah.
They can be a gold mine of information.
Because they'll tell you what they like.
Exactly.
What they don't like.
What they would change. And that can help you identify areas where you can improve.
So it's always a work in progress.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of strategies here.
Yeah.
But could you give us a specific example?
Sure.
Like, how could a practice actually implement this?
Using Repugen?
Yeah, using our tools.
Okay, so let's say a patient comes in for an appointment.
Okay.
They have a great experience.
They're happy.
They leave feeling good.
Okay.
And then they get an automated email from Repugen.
Okay.
Thanking them for their visit.
Okay.
And asking them to leave a review.
Okay.
And then the email also includes a little section about referrals.
Okay.
With a link to share the practice's information with friends and family.
So it's all right there.
Exactly.
Easy peasy.
It's super easy for the patient.
They don't have to do anything.
No, they just click a button.
Okay, I like it.
And then their friends and family get a personalized message.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's all automated.
So it makes the whole process so much smoother.
Exactly.
Okay. So to recap, we've got 6 key strategies here.
Yes.
Asking directly, creating an exceptional patient experience networking with other physicians, tracking those metrics, collecting patient feedback, and embracing automation.
That's right.
If you do all those things,
referral program should be in good shape.
Okay, now I want to talk about something that I think is really important.
What's that?
Authenticity.
Ah, yes, authenticity.
Because, we can talk about all these strategies, but if it doesn't feel genuine,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
People can spot a fake a mile away.
Exactly. So how can practices make sure that their referral program feels authentic?
Well, it goes back to everything we've been talking about. Creating a culture of care,
okay,
going above and beyond for your patients, making them feel valued.
Like they're part of a community.
Exactly.
Not just a number.
And when patients feel that way,
they want to tell people.
They naturally want to share their experience.
Right.
It becomes less about a formal referral program and more about just wanting to help their friends and family.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's really about building those authentic relationships, and that's something that we're really passionate about at Repugen.
Yeah, our tools are designed to help you do just that.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground in this part.
We have.
But the key takeaway is that patient referrals are a powerful tool.
They are.
And when done right, they can really help your practice thrive.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll be looking at some real-world examples.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back, and we've been talking all about these referral programs.
Yeah.
But I want to see them in action.
Right. Let's see how this actually works. So I've got a great example.
Okay.
One of our clients, dermatology practice.
Okay.
They were actually doing really well.
Okay.
Lots of demand.
Okay, so they didn't need help.
Well, they needed help managing the growth.
Oh, okay.
They knew referrals were important.
Yeah.
But their system was all manual.
Oh, so it was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was taking up a lot of staff time.
Okay.
So we came in.
We, meaning?
Repugen.
Right, of course.
And we implemented our automated referral system.
Okay. And how did that work?
Well, it integrates seamlessly with their existing workflow.
Okay, so no big changes.
Right, exactly. And it automatically identifies those patients who've had great experiences. And it sends them a personalized request for referral.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it makes it super easy for them to share.
So, like, how?
They can do it through text, email.
Whatever they prefer.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of results did they see?
Well, within 3 months, they saw a 30% increase in referrals.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it was a big jump.
And I bet that led to other good things, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
Well, their online reputation improved.
Oh, because those happy patients were leaving reviews.
Exactly. So it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah, it all starts with that referral.
Right.
And then it just kind of...
Snowballs.
Snowballs, exactly.
So, this is just one example, but it really highlights the power of automation.
Yeah. And taking some of that work off your plate.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap of everything we've talked about.
Sure.
We started with that amazing stat that 42% of patients rely on referrals.
Right. Word of mouth is huge.
And then we looked at that study from JAMA.
Yeah.
That showed just how important those referrals are.
Even in the digital age.
And then we talked about all the different ways to build a referral program.
Right.
training your staff, setting goals,
using reminders, incentives,
networking with other physicians,
and, of course, automation.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but it's worth it.
Because those referrals can really make a difference.
Absolutely.
So, as we wrap up here, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
What's one thing you can change in your practice today?
Oh, today?
Yeah, to make it more referral-worthy.
That's a good question.
It could be something small.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as making sure your staff is greeting patients with a smile.
Okay.
Or sending a personalized thank you note after an appointment.
Right.
Or even just empowering your team to ask for those referrals more confidently.
All those little things add up.
They do.
So think about what you can do today.
Yeah, take action.
To start building that referral machine.
That's right.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Okay.
But we hope you found this deep dive into patient referrals helpful.
Yeah, and remember, Repugen is here to help you every step of the way.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Repugen Podcast, your path to better healthcare.